Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to Insights with Anastasia. Today we're going to cover a short topic but very important one. It is about whether you should or should not mention your maternity leave in a resume. And overall, should you just be straightforward and write down your maternity leave explaining what you were doing during this time, or should you just maybe avoid putting it into your resume and then explain it during the interview? And I know for many people this can be very important topic to talk about. It definitely was for me when I was about to re-enter workforce after almost 3 years of maternity leave. I was asking these questions. I was trying to understand, should I just say that I was on maternity leave, or should I maybe conceal this information until I am directly asked? So let's talk about it, and I'll give you my POV on what you should not do. But obviously, this is up to you. This is your decision to make. I am just sharing information that I have and my experience. So before making a decision to explicitly say that you had maternity leave on your resume, I suggest you consider three things that I'm going to talk about it now. So the first thing is how much time you spent on your maternity leave. So sometimes if you spend maybe a few months, that's such a huge difference between someone who spent, for example, almost 3 years on the maternity leave, as I did. So in this case, if you just spend a few months, and this is not something out of the ordinary in your country, for example, maybe this is what people usually take to take care of a child. I think this shouldn't be any concerns, and you don't have to explicitly tell that you were on maternity leave. So this is something common, and you can probably avoid this mentioning this information in your resume unless you want to, and unless you have something to say about what you did during this maternity leave. Maybe you attended some conferences, maybe you took some courses, maybe you did some upskilling that is worth mentioning. In this case, please go ahead and mention. But I think if it's just a few months, you can avoid putting it into your resume. Now, getting back to my story, where I spent almost 3 years on maternity leave, and I had my reasons. So basically, it wasn't only maternity leave; it was also I moved to another country. I was trying to adjust to the labor market, to the work market in a new country. It wasn't easy for me, especially knowing that I had to upskill my knowledge, upskill my uh, just to upskill myself, and also I had to kind of get more familiar with work in a different language. So there was additional challenge to my extended maternity leave. But overall, if you have a big maternity leave, as I did, I would suggest explicitly putting this information on your resume, because it's really hard to hide a couple of years in your professional life. This will be very obvious when a recruiter look at your resume, and they will see that there is a gap. And I mean, you can have your reasons, right? But we don't want them. We don't want to keep them questioning your work experience. We don't want them to just assume that maybe you were unemployed for some reason, or maybe you're hiding something. So in this case, I would highly. I mean, I can't say I'm highly recommend. This obviously depends on your choice, but I would say go ahead and put this on your resume. And for example, in my case, I also did some upskilling. I took some courses, so it wasn't just I was on maternity leave. That's it. No, it was more about putting some effort during the maternity leave to keep in touch with your industry, to keep in touch with your profession, or maybe do some upskilling, as I said. So I mentioned all the courses I took. I also added portfolio projects I did during the maternity leave. So when a recruiter would look at the resume, it would be obvious for them that you had to take some time off to take care of your child, but also it wasn't just about taking care of your child. You were proactively thinking how you can get back to work. You were so the work is very important for you. So it's going to be easier for you to transition from maternity leave to the back to the work life. So I think that would give recruiters additional bonus of looking into your resume. Be mindful of what you write down, be mindful of how you say things like maternity leave and what you did during that. But as long as you are transparent and you highlight proactivity, that's gonna work for you. The second thing that you should consider when putting on out your maternity leave information on a resume is discrimination. Obviously, we all hope discrimination is not something that we are going to face or something that is not um, present in our society, but unfortunately, it still is. And even if it's not explicit discrimination, sometimes it can be just, internal biases of the recruiters or hiring managers. And they might not be aware of those biases, but just knowing that this puts you in some sort of the situation where you can be discriminated against. This is just something you have to keep in mind. But my personal opinion is that if the company is seeing me taking time, even a long time, 3 years is a long time, taking some time to take care of my child and my family, whatever it is, and they decide that this is not something for them, so I am somehow, I don't know, not worthy, not a person worthy of their attention or interview, or maybe I'm not the perfect candidate, that's perfectly fine. I am happy that they don't spend time interviewing me. I am happy that they save me time. So I don't want to work for the companies who are in some way trying to discriminate people like that. And I do want to work for company and for people who look at my experience and my maternity leave experience and say, hey, you know what? I see how determined you were during your maternity leave. I see that you are eager to return to the workforce. So I want a person like you on my team. And those companies I want to work for. So I say just put it on and see, maybe actually that's going to be a critical factor for you to decide which company to work for. For example, for me, I had a couple of interviews with hiring managers, and they mentioned during the interview that one of the reasons why they asked me to have an interview is exactly my maternity leave information that I put on my resume. They said, hey, we see you are transparent, you're willing to learn, you are highly flexible and adjustable even during this kind of hard time when you had to take care of your kid. You still were thinking about work and how you can progress, right? So this is another thing you should be mindful of. But yeah, as again, we unfortunately we don't live in a perfect society. There are some discriminations, but as long as you are understanding the risks and you are willing to take them, that should be fine. And eventually you will find your company and you will find your people that you're kind of feeling comfortable work with. So and last thing that I want to mention, this is more practical. So when you think about putting your maternity leave information on resume, you should consider using functional resume format. So this format of resume is really helpful, and I did use the same. So basically what you do, you take all of your accomplishments, all of the projects that you work on or your achievement, and from your overall your whole experience before the maternity leave, and you put it up front. So it's going to be looking like a your name, your contact information, and then you tell what you achieved during your career. This format is especially helpful for people with some gaps in their working career. This kind of shifts attention from looking at your gaps, to looking at your accomplishment. And this is helpful because recruiters will first of all see your achievements, see your accomplishments, see what you are good at, and then they will see some like a gaps in your career, and they'll say, hey, I see this person is willing to do a lot of great stuff, so I want to give him a chance. Right now, I think to create this functional resume, it's pretty easy. You can Google some templates, you can ask ChatGPT, I don't know, create your resume and make it functional to highlight your achievements and accomplishments. But also, if you need any help with your resume or you need any suggestions, I can probably help you. I can maybe use your resume and make a case study, and we can do a video about that. I don't know. So uh, there are a lot of opportunities we can use, as you see. Having some time off from your work, especially when you take care of your newborn baby, is such a precious time, and you should be proud of you. You should be proud that you are spending so you're taking care of your child, you investing in your family, but also you can be proactive looking at some opportunities to getting back to the workforce. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy that. Let me know in the comments below, and obviously if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I almost hit my 100 subscribers. This is so exciting. Thank you. Bye.